What is up, friends? Welcome back for some more UPL Valorant. We're in week number 3. We're looking at the Vandal Conference. My name is Jack. I'm being joined by the wonderful Dryad. Dryad, it's our first time casting together. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, that's right. Very excited. First time casting together and the first time that I'm going to be casting for you guys. So very excited. The matches, well, I know there were a couple changes happening, a lot of rescheduling happening, but at the end of the day, we're going to have a really good match nonetheless.
Yes, absolutely. And it's always great to see the defending champions back on stream. It is going to be
Yeah.
Converse Esports taking on Winthrop. Converse, they were pretty dominant during the summer split. We didn't expect them to beat the defending UCD, but they were able to do it regardless. And speaking about those rosters, here they are. But we do know that there is going to be one change tonight in this Converse roster.
Yeah, there's going to be a change, right? And there's going to be a sub coming in. And that brings a lot of questions of how much is that going to affect the team? Is it going to affect them for the worst or for the best? Like you mentioned, Converse being the team that everyone is afraid of pretty much, being having such a good performance in last season and still proving to do that right now, even when it's just the beginning, they are placed in that number one, all the way on top of the table. Really high expectations for them, only lost a single map so far. So bringing in a sub, that might affect them a little bit, especially with that synergy.
I absolutely agree. It's going to be Wildfire who is coming out. Futile going to be thrown into the mix, but 4 of the 5 returning players from last season were on that championship roster. Now it's going to be only 3. We'll have to see how that ends up. On the other side, Winthrop isn't a team that I know very well. They're currently sitting at 1-1, so definitely still in playoff contention early on. I know this university mostly for their League of Legends, but on it does look like they have been at least keeping even. They had a win, one loss, as we talked about. They played also in the they lost in the Vanguard Championship Series to Shopify Rebellion. So there isn't really too much that we know about them to really say how this match is going to go.
Yeah, this is really just the beginning of a lot of matches that are going to happen, and that is why a lot of teams still trying to define themselves, prove themselves. So in the case of Converse, we already talked about it. A lot of players that we knew before that have already proven to be that good. But there's a lot also coming in that want to prove that they are also able to be at the top, including this team of Winthrop. And with that, and especially when the enemy team has a sub, that is a perfect opportunity for them to get the victory.
Is the perfect storm. We're going to see what that map pool is for this evening. The bans have already come in, the picks have already come through. It is going to be Ascent, then Bind, and then, last but not least, if possible, it's going to be Haven. And I think one of the most interesting things about this is that the only map we've seen so far from Converse was on Icebox. Back in week 1, and it was only a 1 map series because of the substitutions from the other team they were playing, Enigma. Because of that, Converse had a 1 map lead automatically. Winthrop, they're doing their homework, seeing that they've already won on this map once already. Why let them win on it again?
Yeah, and this could have been the perfect set of maps for the ones that are my favorites if you could replace Bind for Split. Because I love Split, but it was banned, so there's not going to be a possibility for that. And even then, I mean, the fact that we're going to be Ascent first, I feel like even though it's a classic for Valorant, a lot of teams are deciding to play all their maps, especially to start it off. And we've seen it at all different levels of Valorant recently, where teams they don't want to start playing Ascent anymore, especially because the compositions are going to allow other maps for success and to be a little bit better for other teams. But in this case, we're going into Ascent, and we have to see who's going to come up on top of. Is going to be really Converse esports maintaining the dominance, or that's going to change.
Yeah, speaking of those compositions, we're going to see what they are in just a moment. Hopefully, we can get into the agent selection momentarily. I know you and I are ready. Hopefully, the players are ready. It looks like we might be waiting on one more person to ready up, and then we're going to get into it. But while we have this extra time, Dryad, is there any changes to the meta that you might expect to see here? There were those changes a little bit ago, KO getting buffed, Jet and Sky getting nerfed. Are there any changes of what we might see here on Ascent?
I I mean, there's definitely the possibility, right? But I feel like right when there's new changes happening, everyone is very hesitant to bring those changes. And especially even when there's new agents, even when there's new maps, everyone is hesitant to play them at the beginning, even if they know they can get ahead. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any crazy compositions. I think it's going to be a little bit more of the same. And even then, you talk about the jet changes, but that doesn't really affect that people are going to continue to play jet.
I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like Jet maybe she takes a back step a little bit to other duelists like Arena. Arena is more of the hard carry,
Yeah.
but Jet still is super important, especially so much high ground to contest. On the other hand, personally, from my casting experience, I feel like Sky, she still is very viable, but I've seen a lot
Yeah.
more KO action actually taking her place. Yes, KO does not heal, but his crowd control, his flashbang, his 0 point where you can suppress and identify people is very helpful. And I feel like Ascent maybe isn't the best map for it. I feel like Breeze might be a little bit better, but I still feel like there's a lot of great places where you can throw that 0 point in.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a possibility, and that is why some teams have tried to bring the chaos for all types of different matches in Valorant. But at the same time, I feel like it's not consistent enough. So unless you have a specific player that really wants to play that agent, there's not a lot of chances that people are going to think that is going to be the better agent out of all of them because there's so many possibilities as Valorant keeps adding new agents. You have more possibilities to bring in. You also everyone is defaulting to all those old agents that we saw early on, and they happen to be really good. Like you said, even after the changes, even after bringing new agents, no one has really been able to be at that level as the classic compositions that we see in every single map, especially on Ascent. Even though there's a thing though, I do want to see the Reina. I don't know if we're going to be seeing it, but it is my favorite out of everything. I love playing it. Oh, we are going to see it. Nice.
Yeah, not surprising at all, though it is going to be the substitution on the side of Converse locking it in for them. This is kind of what we expect. I do like the Jet Reyna setup personally a lot myself. On the other side, we might see a raise, which no, maybe just debate. We'll have to see if it is going to be a mirror matchup, at least for the duelist category, which I feel like is the better play. But the main difference I'm seeing otherwise is that there is a Sky on the side for Winthrop, and for Converse, they want to go for a Cypher instead, even though they're going to be starting on attack.
Yeah, that's
Choose
right. And
your
that's where we
agent.
bring a lot of really interesting ideas and what the teams are going to be bringing here and how aggressive they want to play. I mean, one of the teams, and especially for the side of the attackers, they're going to bring the double duelist with the Jet that we talked about with the Reina is actually going to be those two double duelists for both of the teams. That brings a lot of aggression that you can expect from them with their Reina more than anything on those pistol rounds. That's when you take advantage more than anything. I heard recently, and I've heard about it before. There's like an 80% chance of you winning the match if you win both of the pistol rounds. And Reina is one of the best agents to do so because you're going to have that extra quote unquote healing that she's able to give herself. And she's already a player that likes to play her. She's already an agent that likes to go in, likes to take those duels and be able to get on top. So that's when we have both of the expectations for the teams, both attacking and defending.
And not surprising whatsoever, at least on the side of Converse, their Reyna is not going to settle for those armor, going to be going for the Ghost, and hopefully going to be able to get that overheal, like you said. Also, looks like they bought quite a bit of abilities because they have only 50 credits left. That is a mouthful and a tongue twister. But as we go into this first attacking round, it looks like Converse are going to be setting up towards the B side. Ricky going to be peeking to mid just a little bit. Agony taking up quite a bit of damage, already down to half health. Does still have the dash if they want to get out, but instead they want to push into market. Just a few warning shots. No one has fallen just yet. The Nebulas have fallen all around. Boom, though.
Spike down B.
Oh, they also had the spike, so while they're trying to take market, they lose their spike on the other side, and this is for Converse. Winthrop has a lot of
One
control
enemy
here.
remaining.
Yeah, there's a lot of information as well that was given from the beginning that allowed the side of Winthrop to take control right away on the side of the defense. They knew immediately they were going mid and taking a little bit more of control, especially on that B side, but nothing really worked out. Everyone got taken down. And the kills coming back and forth, going to allow Winthrop to again stay on top. They want to take the advantage here that the enemy team has a sub. And that is your better opportunity to win out of anything because one of the keys in Valorant, besides being good at your agent, besides being really good at getting those shots and those headshots, is having that synergy with your team to be able to communicate.
Communication not quite there as they drop the first round. Already Converse taking up quite a bit of damage. They're so falling desperately low, and there's nothing to the dash from Ricky. Player just able to hold down this mid point because of the fact they have that Spectre. Blitzo is able to take out Jet on the other side, able to pick up that Sheriff eventually, but this is going to be Swish with the air to able to pick one up. Player able to pick up another, and all of a sudden, Ricky, it's the one soldier left. And that Sheriff is not enough to get it done. Winthrop able to take 2 rounds pretty decisively.
Yeah, just like expected, the better firepower definitely going for the team that's going to win that round. But this is where things get interesting every single time. Now, Converse, the team that has always been top, they're going to be able to buy those rifles that they're so good at, those Vandals, those Phantoms as well, and see what they're able to do to initiate, like we talked about. There's a double duelist, there's a lot of expected aggression. They lost the first and second round as expected, but now there is their time to come back and to recover that economy a little bit more.
If they lose this round, it's going to be pretty risky, at least early on. This is their advantage, like you said. This is the bonus round. They have the Vandals. If their team just going to keep what they have from the get-go. Winthrop only having SMGs for the most part. West forced to back up. Only has a Sheriff at their disposal, it looks like. Futile trying to take over Tree. Clearing out corner. There's no one there. The weird. He's going to find one out. Going to force him to back up. Winthrop, though, they're playing this so aggressively that they're pushing through the archway, actually able to find one in the meantime. West is hitting in the Nebula, is able to find one. Futile falls, and Winthrop finding a great advantage early on. They're not able to pick up the weapon. Up 2. Converse is able to and is able to trade one out.
Eyes
and
down.
the plant should be coming in soon, but it's a 4.
Yeah, the possibility seems like to be like it's going away, and the Soba getting taken down at the end denies the possibility. And a really good round for this team of Winthrop. It seems like Converse, they were going to take the initiative, but the thing is that they were playing aggressive, sure, but they weren't playing aggressive just giving information to the enemy teams. They weren't playing aggressive in the way that was going to guarantee the kills that they needed. And that was their priority more than anything else. They needed the 2 duelists to be the impact makers, which we didn't see so far. Now that you're forced to go into another couple rounds struggling to get that economy back.
Having to go for the Sheriff buyer isn't a big as they rush in.
Spike down A.
He is taken out. Crescent able to get things up. A very aggressive angle, just gonna swing. Is able to hit it, is able to get away as well with that Soul Orb. Ricky able to find 2 on the back burner, might be able to pick up a weapon as well. Lucas does have that Sonic Arrow, could try to throw it in and get some information. It immediately gets destroyed though, so no recon there, and Blair is going to be on the flank. He is caught out, but does have the guiding light frozen in. It's gonna go way over the top. Ricky's able to find 3 in this round. The returning player is amazing, but is taken down by Flare. At the end of the day, Lucas gonna destroy the Trailblazer, but he is caught out. Flare is enough on the end. Converse were able to do some damage, but that's 4 rounds in a row now for Winthrop.
Yeah, 4 rounds in a row, and this is going more and more to this out of Winthrop. We're able to stay on top, we're able to build that economy, and even buy an operator for their jet on this round, and that makes things even more difficult because that operator is going to deny a lot of space from the enemy team. Even if they had those rifles, that is not going to matter this jet. And even with those changes that we talked about, that is not going to change anything in the sense that the jet is able to get a kill, dash away, and get away with their life, as well as take control of that space.
Space is the name of the game. That's what you need to take here. If you want to get the kills, though, it's going to be the jet on the side of Winthrop getting the wallbang with the operator, taking out Boom. This Cypher has not been super effective, which is kind of what you expect, unfortunately, when you're using them in this way. Ricky trying to take over mid is able to take out Crescent, so that's 1 duelist down, but that's gonna be the jet around the corner. Ollie just completely fracking up, gets 2, gets 3, back to back. Lucas is able to take over the point, but instead backs out.
On target.
That spike is down, but Lucas is able to take out the flanker in, and all of a sudden done, it's a 2v2.
Revealing area.
The operator though, it's so difficult to deal with this.
Last player standing.
Guiding light. Output. Well, it is a bit futile there. Holy gets 4 when all is said and done. With the operator, and you pointed out perfectly, Dryad. That operator was still up, just waiting for that shot to line up.
Only the Jet remaining, but that was the best agent out of anyone else to stay. They had the operator still at hand. They didn't lose it at any point. And Elite was able to do so good. I mean, we talked about the expectations that you can have with a Jet, and this is pretty much what you need. There's a lot of conversation within Valorant of if the Jet should be the one holding the operator, but we definitely hear why Jet has him more than anyone else.
Yep, they go together like peanut butter and jelly, the Jet and the operator, because of that dash. Even though they get out of the way. Meanwhile, Boom able to take out one flare. Maybe getting a little bit too close to the sun. And now the Northless is going to come through. There is one right around the corner. And you're not going to win that, unfortunately. But Ricky using the place from able to pick out one. Trades happening all across the map. Lucas able to find a few shots, not able to land the final blow. Out of fear, able to spray someone down and able to get a little bit closer now, pulling up the classic, has the operator in hand as well. Lucas, 51 health, injury, and there's 3 people running right at you, Creston. Go for a little bit of a hip fire there, gonna pay with their life, but the operator and the round are in hand for Winthrop.
At this point, it's just a fight to keep the operator, but Winthrop, because Converse, they're not having a good time here. They're definitely being affected today. Nothing is really going on. They're having won a single round so far, and Elite, even if he got taken down on that round, it didn't really affect the team too much. It was a really good positioning that they were holding one right, one left, didn't allow the Sova at least take any sort of positioning that was going to be beneficial for him, was going to get taken down immediately. And we continue to see Winthrop being very, very dominant.
Operator shot's gonna miss. Remember, this was the pick of Converse, and they found themselves in a very big hole early on. They be destroyed by Ali. That's gonna be the flick. That's gonna be the dash. That's the reset you need there. Perfect precision, though. Maybe extending a bit too much. Had the shot lined up, but didn't pull the trigger. And now Riggy has complete range here in market. No one is near. The market door is closed, but Ricky could try to take over a heaven if they so do wish to do. They might be able to find someone on the flank. And they hear the footsteps swish. Not able to get the gun up in time, and now it's going to be the push on the B.
Yeah, absolutely, but the kills are not going to stop as that happens. There's a 3v3 at the same time, around 45 seconds remaining. There's the opportunity to get the plan. There's a possibility to change the narrative that we saw before. I think it's the first time that we see it happening.
First spike plant, Cosmic Divide is going to be coming out, but Blitz is still going to fall. Even after it's committed, that was the one being used by Converse, and now they find themselves in a 3v2 scenario. Winthrop, they still have theirs. They also have their Sky up, so they're going to be getting all of that extra healing, as you see through the Cosmic Divide. They're going to be putting some Nebulas around the map, probably going to be looking for a Gravity Well. Going to be using their own Cosmic Divide. Gravity Well isn't going to catch anyone. As time enemy is taken out, Boom is able to save the round. He takes 3, but they're finally able to get their first round win on the board.
And that was very risky, but I feel like it all started when Elite decided to almost overextend with the operator. I mean, they picked once, twice, the third time wasn't really going to be the one where they were going to get that last kill. Got 1, but that wasn't really enough. Still manages to be at the top of the kill board. 10 kills, ultimate ready to use. But now this is the first round that Converse wins, and more than anything, it allows them to build their economy the way that they haven't really done before.
They get the ball going, building that economy back up, trying to find a way back in. Remember, this is before halftime. They could eventually get this to 6-6 when all is said and done. That's gonna be with the instant headshot after avoiding the guiding light blitz, able to find one as well. And Winthrop, they've had the advantage the entirety of this series, but suddenly they find themselves at a 5v3 disadvantage. Converse still has that Empress online as well if they want to use it. Crescent just trying to hold a little bit outside of tree. Might be able to find a few heads peeking out in mid. That's going to be the updraft as well as the tailwind, saving themselves for this fight. Boom, able to get another one. That's a headshot as well as a
I know
wallbang.
exactly where you
Has
are.
really been carrying this
Don't
team for the last few rounds. They do lose Lucas, but the neural threat is going to find out exactly where Crescent is if they didn't have enough information already. Gravity Well going to hold up them a little bit longer. West taking a little bit of spray, but nothing too bad. It's Futiles able to take over Heaven in the meantime, and while all this is happening, it looks like it's just as diversion as
30
Converse
seconds
once
left.
again. They want to take over B.
Yeah, it's going to be the same strategy that we saw before, but a little bit later, a little bit running into that overtime that you don't want to happen, into that the time where you feel pressure. Nonetheless, it's going to be the Reyna, it's going to be the Astra left remaining. There's still the possibility here, but it's not going to be easy to get out of this position.
One enemy
No, it's
remaining.
not. Copy's been a rock in a hard place, and now it is West all alone, and immediately just gonna go back to spawn. That's the best way you can say it there, Dryad. It's gonna be Converse taking their second round in a row, and that economy, like you said, it is finally starting to get built up here, and Winthrop actually gonna have to go for a save round.
Yeah, it's the first time that we see them being forced into a save run. They do have, seems like, one of those Vandals in the hands of the Reyna to try to get a little bit of those kills out of anyone else. I like this because they still have the ultimate probably going to be used. Definitely going to be used, actually, that Blaze Storm coming through early. That is the way that they recovered.
Like you said, Blaze Storm is gonna be coming out now, so we'll see if they can find something. Crescent immediately gonna be run over. It's the 5-man run once more, but this time they have the weaponry. They need to get it done. Wall can be closed. Punisher gonna come out. Is gonna be able to tag one up. Can they get more? A few shots coming through as well. Gonna find a second shot. Is gonna be able to take out Blitz. And Ricky falling to the Blade Storm. And all of a sudden, this thrifty round looks like it could be possible. Lucas is stunned up. Only has 8 health, but Lucas able to find 2. It's a 2v1. They have the Empress as well, but they still have the weaponry advantage. I don't think any guns are picked up throughout all of that as the Aerodrome comes out. So this is 2 sheriffs against 2 assault rifles. Tag up is there. Futile gonna be hit by the recon bolt. Spike is gonna go down. Gravity Well gonna stop them. That Gravity Well seemed really far away to get them into the AoE, but regardless, it comes through. So on this
One
side,
enemy
taking
remaining.
a lot of damage. Futile gonna take some, but it's gonna be Lucas who gets 4. When all is said and done, Winthrop, it looks like they had a way back in, but they could not close it out.
Converse shining in the chaos. Definitely turned their monitors on now because we didn't really see it before. They recover, they're able to rush into side and to make it effective. Even when they had a couple losses, they lost a couple members early on, but nonetheless they were able to win their round, especially thanks to that Sova making it different. It seems like they're catching up to the speed of Winthrop, who is having a lot of difficulties now. The operator didn't work, the save round didn't work, the rifles didn't work. Now you have to turn to your strategy on the defense to make it work again.
Swish trying to find some buckets. Nothing but net with the Odin, but not able to find a single bullet through the wall bang. And you know what's really scary, Dryad, is that Converse, I feel like this composition that they have, because of the Cypher, works so much better on defense. So if they do make this miracle run, I think even if they get it just to 4-8, they put themselves in a great position to bring this map back. So we'll see how much farther they can bring it back, but one more round can guarantee them at least 4, so things are looking good. It's still in their favor. Swish is going to be challenged. Odin going to spray a little bit. Crescent able to find the crossfire. They're able to get the overheal as well. So Orb is used. Empress popped off the back. They just got it with that. Is going to find the headshot. As Reyna says, more. Can they find it too? Right around the corner as those Seekers come through. Gonna find the Seeker location, but not able to get the kill. It's a 3v2. Flare, though, able to make it a 2v2 as soon as I say that. Asova on the side of Converse is so weak. They are separated, but it is going to be a flank here on this A site.
Yeah, it is going to be the plan, and I like how both of the teams are playing a lot slower now, but it's a 2v2 situation with Winthrop. They don't want to lose any more rounds in a row because their economy is just not looking good. It's got to be synergizing and retaking effectively to make this happen, especially because that Soba doesn't have a lot of HP left.
Doesn't have a lot of HP, but does have the Hunter's Fury. My guess is that they're going to play as far back as possible. As soon as they hear the spike getting defused, they're going to pop that. Or maybe they'll wait for a little bit more information. They find out where the Astra is. There it is. Hunter's Fury going to be used a little bit in vain as no one is on the spike. That they might push with the guiding light, but that does find one hit.
Enemy remaining.
They're going to go for the defuse. Flare has the perfect angle. Isn't going to be able to trade it. And oh my goodness, Lucas does it again. 4 kills on the board. 30 health. Gets out with their life. Converse is back online.
They almost made it happen as well. They almost got the kill into Lucas. That was so close, but a matter of seconds really made the difference for this team. And Converse, now 4 rounds in a row, looking like a completely different team from what we saw at the beginning. Their economy is looking good. The ultimates, they're able to rotate them more effectively. And they're able to stay on top to the point where with Winthrop, you're just wondering what is happening now.
Very aggressively out with the Spectre, able to get one. Cosmic Divide going to be used in there. Is a trade between the 2 jets. Able to get in there immediately into Swish's face. Only had the Sheriff, not much they can do. The Crescent doesn't even get a chance to fire another shot.
One enemy remaining.
In their
Spike
chamber,
planted.
they get traded out, but it is only now West who is alive. Sheriff in hand, ankles held really well by Converse. Oh, that's gonna be one flick. Can they find another? No, they can't. It's a good thrifty round from Winthrop, but again, does not get the round win.
Last round before
It's
the
so
switch.
difficult with the sheriffs as well. It is. I mean, I can never make it happen. And this team, sometimes you see some insane plays with the sheriff, but this one was not going to be it. And now we're in a situation where 6 rounds were won by the side of Winthrop, but now it is going to be potentially 6 going for the side of Converse. Both of the teams able to buy here. But, I mean, Winthrop is really reaching, really investing everything they can, buying all those abilities. This is their last chance to stay ahead on the second half.
You're right, it is the last chance. They're guaranteed at least a draw if worst comes to worst, but considering they were up 6-0, like you said, this is crazy. Score lines like this, but usually it's trading back and forth throughout the entirety of a half. This time it is just one side one way, one side the other way. Guiding light gonna come in, but nothing's gonna come out of it. Ali though is gonna find out futile. Sub is gonna end up falling. The blaze storm was popped elsewhere. It looks like in mid for Ricky. Owl drone gonna come out, gonna try to find out some information. This might be another attempt at taking over market, but no one is gonna be found out as everyone has backed up. Actually gonna find one on the other side. It's that Odin wielding Sova again. Going to be the exact position they have at the of this series. Blitz is gonna find it. Ricky finding Crescent elsewhere. Flare does trade out. Only ultimates left now. Converse, Blade Storm, and Winthrop. They have that Cosmic Divide still, but how do you use it here? It's very hard to use it as a defender unless you go for the... Meanwhile, Swish is completely split off from the rest of the team.
30
Yeah, on the
seconds left.
completely opposite side here. Is going to try to get the kill. That was probably the worst timing to make that jump.
I think that they probably felt pressured, like, you know, I'm gonna get run down if I don't try to catch them by surprise. And Odin, you know, it's usually the sprint where you don't have to worry too much about finding your footing.
Last player standing.
Unlucky, like you said, Luke is gonna find out Flare. West gonna use Cosmic Divide. Maybe, no, doesn't even get the chance to. Was in the middle of the animation, took some damage, comes out of it, but finds only the sweet
Switching
embrace of
sides.
death. And when all is said and done here, Dryad, it is a 6-6 tie.
Yeah, it is looking really good so far, but it's so weird because, like you say, sometimes it goes back and forth. It often goes back and forth. But for both of these teams, it's just going one side completely for one part of the game, the other part just going for the side of Converse, who are able to keep that score in a way that is not affecting them. They're completely even right now, so it's pretty much a reset happening for the second half where anyone has the same chance to win. And it is all about those pistol rounds to guarantee the first 2, potentially 3 rounds.
It's essentially a complete reset. It is a 1st to 7 unless we get to an overtime scenario when, well, we'll get to that if we get to that. But in the meantime, Winthrop now swapping sides. Have to make a move here. Ricky gonna have the Sheriff, gonna fire the first shot and immediately back out. Losing futile in the process. Guiding Light gonna come and is gonna find one as always able to take out their counterpart. It's the full retake as trades come through, but when all is said and dust has settled, it is a 4v2. However, for Winthrop, quite a few members in the red for them.
Yeah, there's not a lot of HP for this Jet or for this Sova. Now this ring as well. Everyone really low, and that is the opening that is now that we can see this team waiting for to just go in.
Looks like Winthrop, they know that they gave up that lead. They don't want to take any risks here. They want to play as far back as possible. Not playing in hell, both playing outside of Arch. Perfect view of the
One
site.
enemy remaining.
So the Bayonet's gonna find switch out perfectly. Out is only West, who only has a classic, is able to pick up the ghost. Then the Frenzy, but in the middle of all of that swapping, they cannot get the job done. A perfectly well done bait there by Converse with that one moment defuse to get switch out of cover.
Not the best timing to pick up that gun. I'll just say that I mean, in the meantime, it's going to be Converse for the first time getting ahead. They have been going in an uphill battle, and now they're able to stay on top. They're able to get 7-6 so far, and be able to get that better firepower for the next round. So this is only going to be beneficial for this team. And this has been all about Lucas. It has been him being the initiator, giving a lot of information to the rest of his team, and also allowing the team for success, allowing them to get a couple extra kills at the beginning.
Gravity Well gonna catch them up for just a moment, but they'll still push on to A point regardless. Rob, looks like they did go for a little bit of a buy. I did see at least one sheriff in their presence. Ricky gonna be caught up. Does not fall to the Utile gets the first kill
One
on some
enemy
player.
remaining.
This is just complete
Spike
chaos.
down A.
It's a 5v1. Crescent with not. Lincoln, you miss it, folks. This round might be done in just a moment. Crescent might be able to find one. How this comes through, is able to find the instant headshot, is able to get the soul orb. Might not be done just yet. The shock dart is gonna make it a little bit easier. The second shock dart is just gonna barely miss. Gun bolt gonna come in just for funsies, and Lucas, you hard carry, as you have said, the difference maker here for Converse, finishes things up.
Yeah, Darina was able to heal herself for a little bit, getting to a little bit over 100, and then it completely goes away with a shock dart. Very unfortunate to see. There is not a lot of chances, especially when you don't have the best weapons to use, and when you're going against Converse, you have been doing so well. We talked about Lucas has been consistently good after the team started winning those rounds, being the one who's initiating those fights and being the one who's also ending those kills.
One thing I want to talk about really quickly is Ricky. Lucas has definitely been the story here, but Ricky, I didn't think they were returning because they are under a different name in the roster, but they have been kind of, I'd say, the most consistent player on this Converse roster since I saw them back during the summer split. Still doing great things. Is the only one to buy here for this team. Has an operator at the ready, so we'll see if that pays off, or maybe that was a bit of an overinvestment here on what is a bonus round for Winthrop, but so far, time has gone by and nothing has really happened besides a few sprays. No hits have been found. Winthrop now looks like they are trying to get onto this B site. We'll see if they're able to do it. Camera gonna find out one immediately. Crescent, they know exactly where they are. Crescent gonna have to hide in just a moment. Tile around the corner. It is gonna be Lucas though, getting the kill. Ollie able to find the trade. Cybercade's gonna find out, but that information is enough to get them down to at least the yellow bar. Boom gonna be immediately traded out on the other side. Great follow-up there. Futile with the headshot of the sentry, able to get overhealed, but
Spike
isn't gonna be able to break down that door as Ricky now takes an off angle. This is where I think the operator's actually at its weakest. This is a very bad angle unless someone peeks right into it.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem like this is a team to do that, right? There's a lot of mistakes that have happened for both teams, and now it doesn't matter either pushing in or ideally getting another gun to push in.
Pushing.
Last player standing.
Quickly.
Yeah, this is the best.
See ya.
Ricky, oh, that shot, so nice, so clean, but it's not really going to do enough here. It's only going to be that one trade that's going to come out. You're going to get to keep the operator as a consolation prize. You lose the round, but this is a round you expect to lose, so really, depending on how the economy comes together, that might be the best play that Converse had.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you want to keep the operator at all costs. It's about how difficult it is to build it, to get it again. And on top of that, knowing your team's economy after you lose that round, that's going to make it even harder for you to get the operator for the next couple rounds. So be able to keep it, probably the best decision here, especially because he was able to get away with a couple extra kills towards the end. But nonetheless, this is still really close for Winthrop.
Is very
I've
close.
got your trail.
Maybe to close that gap a little bit. Molly gonna commit. Blazers, they're gonna commit. The Trailblazers as well. Not the Trailblazers, the Seekers, excuse me. Gonna clear out this A site for the time being.
Out of the target.
Haven't found really anything in the kill department yet. Just a little bit of space. Crescent gonna be sitting in this nebula. The spike goes down, and this is the first time we've really seen this where the spike falls. Get one. Bladestorm kill. Ricky able to trade out immediately on the Crescent. Wrapping through tree. Take a very aggressive angle. Can't find the payoff though as Blitz is able to take them down to the 3v3 that operator. This is the opposite of last round. I would say the operator is actually great here. But you need to create space for them, and really hard to see the angles that are being taken. Oh, it's gonna be the kills through hell. Swish is finally gonna land that slam dunk. And Winthrop is right back in this. It's a tie game once more.
They had the opportunity definitely to synergize and retake for that, but it lasted a little too long to be able to do that. And in the meantime, it was just the opportunity for the attack control side to get the kills as everyone is going in one by one and finally get the 2 kills from hell. So a complete nightmare that we see, and because of that, the score is still even.
Standing ahead.
Is even. Now it's essentially a 1st to 5. It seems like we're just going to keep getting closer and closer to it. It's a 1st to 1. We'll see if we do end up getting there eventually. But for now, 16 rounds have gone by and all is even. Boom! Able to find the kill with the sheriff. This is a light back from Converse, but a start like that is very, very good. Crescent, though, able to find their counterpart 2 times on the other side. Blitz going to be able to find the 2-time. Usually with a sheriff, it's the first shot and misses, you're done, but able to readjust and hit. Beautiful shot. Ollie now gonna be able to find a firefight, but Blitz able to find back-to-back kills. That's 4 for Blitz. Converse immediately yoinks that lead back into thrifty rounds.
Everyone fighting for the lead between these 2 teams and individually as well. Kill still coming through. Luca still the one on top of the kill it's still the one on top of the board, but it doesn't mean that Lee is too far behind. There's still the possibility to see this Jet coming back, making a difference, and there's actually going to be a timeout starting for this team. Again, everyone's fighting to get ahead, and Winthrop, even though they had an amazing start, now they're struggling so much to be able to keep up with Converse, and this was the expectation that we had for Converse. They're a really good team. They were the champions last time. They have really good players returning as well. And Winthrop, it seems like they had the confidence they could easily win. But then Converse, they started bringing up different strategies. They started rushing. They started bringing something else into that first half that Winthrop wasn't expecting. And now they had to adapt to be able to catch up in the next couple rounds.
You gotta wonder if this timeout should have been taken a bit earlier. There was a point, I mean, there was a 6-0 run on both sides, and I'm thinking maybe at 3-0, 4-0, when you're Winthrop, when you're still leading, but you can see that quickly your momentum has faltered, that maybe that's the time you take it here. It is a close game. This is kind of more what we were expecting. This is more of a trading back and forth. No one has really been able to get a huge leg up just yet. Converse does have that 1 round, but it's not a lot. However, what they do have is an economy. Winthrop does not. We just saw one thrifty round. We'll see if Winthrop can do it themselves now after being handed some bad fortune last time. As they try to push up here through mid on this attack. Aldron is going to find out 1 as Futile. Gonna have to back up just a little bit. Now that information is no more. Here gonna be thrown into market. Tooling here is actually gonna be thrown into. Futile gonna be tagged up just a little bit. Has the Empress ammo and a tree, able to get away with the Lear, but immediately is found out. Actually, no, it's Blitz that's found out. It's now gonna be pop up. Only 17 health.
Spike down.
They needed to do this a little bit earlier. 3v2 though, still for the defenders. That advantage still holding strong for them. The Empress was popped on the other side. Winthrop gonna move in. Gonna be found out, so Swish is known by
One
Boom.
enemy remaining.
A little bit extra information. Only Switch.
Oh.
Not gonna be able to get the plant. It's not even able to step in the
He doesn't
back.
know.
Boom, how could you do them like that?
He doesn't know. Oh no, there's no other possibility for that. And with that Converse, the first team to get those double digits, looking good in the economy, looking good in those ultimates. Winthrop really struggling, and this has to be frustrating because when we look at the compositions, the only difference here is the Cypher and the Sky. And you know, in paper at least, it should be the Sky the one doing better on attack, and the Cypher doing better on defense, which is working perfectly for this set of Converse, but when Winthrop really aggressive with the Sky, not so much.
Denial of space. What is better? And Ricky is the answer above all. Just use an operator, get a kill to open up the round. Converse sitting pretty. First kill and 4 ultis at the ready if need be. Only gonna break the camera, so is not gonna be the information or as much information
Enemy
for Boom
down.
as they had last time. Luke is able to get a dart across mid, take out that Sky. Attackers trying to find anything right now. Winthrop trying to find anything at all after having that amazing lead early on. It is just slipping away from their fingertips. They lose this round. Gonna have to be another light buy, and then Converse could almost be on match point. So this round is super important already. They find themselves in such a huge hole.
Absolutely, but anything can happen here, especially with the side of Converse and how they decide to play. It seems like everyone's scouting, everyone trying to get that information for Winthrop. If they can catch someone off guard, that would be the opening that they're waiting for, especially because they're behind, like you said, on those
30
kills.
seconds left.
Still the possibility, but no one's looking close.
Winthrop might be just trying to save here. Maybe keep as many weapons as they can for the next round. There's a very aggressive hold at B, but that's not where the spike is going. It's going to be going towards A. Able to get that camera back up. They're going to commit the Cosmic Divide here. Just going to dash in, try to get a spike
10
plant as soon as
seconds left.
possible. Vulnerability for West as they plant. That's the B, the Hunter's Fury, and that's the delay plant. That's going to be the round. Ollie just stands by as the team gets wiped. It just took too long there. The ultimate from the Astra, not enough.
Winthrop, they just played right into the hands of Converse. They waited, they were delayed by a lot. And in those last 15 seconds that they had remaining to get that plant going on, even if there was no one on site right away, there is going to be the Hunter's Fury. And that is something that you need to be expecting as a team. You need to know that the Hunter's Fury is going to get used, especially it's going
Let us
to
hunt.
go for that late plant. And that completely affected this team. 11 rounds for Converse, and they're
Scanning ahead.
looking forward to keep it going.
I misspoke a little bit earlier.
Get out of
Converse
my
actually
way.
does still have their Empress, so it was not popped, I believe, 2 rounds ago, so 3 ultimates still at their disposal. Winthrop gonna commit their Blade Storm.
Here,
Gonna
blocking
try to
sight.
find some information there, though. Not gonna be finding what they want. Ollie, though, just gonna dash in immediately, pick
No
up that
charges left.
Phantom. Only takes a little bit of spray damage. Ultimate is gone. There's no reset, and there's no hope. Ollie does end up falling after getting one 4v4. Crescent does have an AR at the ready, a Phantom, so could be able to get some
One
here.
less.
Oh, flare with the perfect angle, just hiding in plain sight. It's actually a Spectre that Crescent has. The fully auto
Spike
weapon,
planted.
nonetheless. Trades upon trades upon trades, and Winthrop at the end of all things are on top of this Crescent. Might be running facing these over.
One
Knows that
enemy
they are
remaining.
right in their midst. Waystorm misses. That was the full right click. Doesn't land anything in Winthrop. This is a round they needed to win. It's not done and dusted just yet. It's so close. It is done, and the 50 round they needed does finally come through. Winthrop is not out of this one yet, but they do find a way back in.
Even though they know there's gonna be a long way to go, it's going to be now the timeout going on for this set of Converse. And like you mentioned, I feel like those timeouts, they should have happened a lot earlier. But then again, this is not the worst scenario. This is pretty much the last opportunity that both of the teams have to build the economy for the next couple of rounds. Whoever is able to get to those 13 rounds first. And of course, Converse seems to be the ones ahead, but that doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way during a situation where even in the first half, when it was only going for one team and then for the other team, now it is the opportunity where we're seeing it go back and forth. and where everyone is at risk of losing. So if Winthrop is able to build this momentum from that last round, that is going to be completely detrimental for Converse until they are pretty much even again.
Is there even a time to catch up for Winthrop? That's probably the question they're asking themselves as this timeout was taken by the other team. Let's look at the win scenarios right now. Converse, they only need 2. They get 1, they're guaranteed at least. There's a lot more of a hill for them to climb, though the economy is stable enough for both teams to buy, so right here, right now, I believe Dryad, if Winthrop is able to pull this off, they're able to really take out Ricky and win this operator duel, as Ollie has been the carry on the side of Winthrop. I think this gives them a good chance to stay alive in this. If they lose this, though, Converse almost certainly has at least this map in the bag, but we'll see how that all plays out, because we really don't know. We can guesstimate, but at the end of the day, we are not prophets. We are just broadcasters. That being said, Trailblazer is going to come through onto the A site as they play this very, very carefully. There is a little bit of recon. They know there's someone playing back on the attacker side of mid. Drone going to be thrown out. See if they can find anything else out. Try to find some of the information of their own. Tree looks cleared out, but we know that is deceptive as they just backed up towards the glass window for now. A minute has gone by and still no moves have been made yet.
Everyone is trying to play for that information. The one team that is able to play that information game better is the one who's potentially going to win that round, especially because on both sides, they have operators, and look at that. None of them want to push, but they're looking at each other. Almost.
It feels like a game of chicken, except neither of them know that they're playing it right now.
Yeah.
I've got your trail.
They're not going to take
30
that
seconds
advantage,
left.
though. Is it going to be enough? It is going to be enough. Ollie going to take the shot. The guiding light came out as well. Information and stuns galore. Crescent might be finding themselves in a firefight momentarily as the door comes down. Spike has yet to be planted. They need to get it down. 15 seconds left. Taking so long setting up for this.
10
They're going
seconds
to leave
left.
themselves very little time. If they do finally get it done, Ollie gonna be
Here.
kind of in no man's land, trying to keep that angle out, but everyone from Market's gonna know they're there. Swish though, holding the perfect corner, able to take out Boom.
Insight.
It's looking so good for Winthrop. The comeback might finally be happening. Try to go for the wallbang. They do find shots, but they don't fall free enough to kill Crescent, so that Reed is still gonna be like Ollie finding even more. And Ollie finds the 3rd kill, 3K for them, the round win. And Winthrop, again, still just able to stay alive.
It was Converse the one with the timeout, but it didn't really work out for them. Winthrop, they are doing so good to be able to stay on the fight. Now forcing Converse into a really, really tough situation where they don't want the enemy team to win a single extra round. They want to take 2 more, but it's looking difficult. This is the last opportunity for them to buy. They're really forcing to buy here, getting the last chance. And if Winthrop wins this, they already have pretty much guaranteed this and the next round as well.
It's a risk. Will they find the Reaper? Well, at least now Trailblazer is going to find nothing. As the
Camera taken
cam
out.
tries the key. Crescent just waiting patiently. Swish as well. It seems like Winthrop
Deploying
has
drone.
really changed their strategy. I feel like before they
Yeah.
were just kind of running in. Now they're waiting for that default pick before they commit to a site.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that they're playing for more information now. We see the drone coming in. We see any sort of abilities that are going to allow them to do this. That is exactly what they're doing to get the kills. That is what they're doing to initiate those fights more than anything. And that is what's making the difference as well against Converse, who are really, really struggling here.
Before Converse, they were punishing that aggressiveness. Now they're fighting themselves on the back foot. 2 ultimates to their name, the Empress as well as the Cosmic Divide, but with that weapons disadvantage, it might be hard to try to use them here. It might just try to save it for a bit of a rainier day. It is a little bit of rain
30
right now
seconds
for
left.
them, but still have that 1 round.
Cutting their vision.
Gonna run in now with the Leer, as well as the Guiding Light, trying to create some space. They do. Onto the point. Spike is going to be planted. Leer is able to take out 1. Is able to take out 2.
Spike
Spike
planted.
finally being planted. And this is looking really, really good now for Winthrop once again.
to find anyone as well, but the number difference absolutely going to be I can do it again.
Oh, they might indeed. Ricky though able to get switched to the 4 player. Might be able to secure the ace. He gets 4. Can they get the ace? It's Ricky. It is the ace from the sky. It doesn't matter if they do healing. It doesn't matter if they're more of a support character. If you can hit your shots, you can get the ultimate kill award in this game. And Winthrop has found the draw, at least for now.
At least for now, but potentially for a little bit more as well. This is the worst possible scenario for Converse to go into a save round, but they don't have any other option. They're going to depend a little bit more on the sheriffs to make a difference, and even then Winthrop, I love to see the operator being effective on the attacking side, because usually it doesn't really work out.
More of a risk. You have to take angles you don't want to.
I've got your trail.
Kind of set up in those from the get-go, but as you said, it is finding value nonetheless. Seeker is going to be used very aggressively. Again, going to clear out this point. 3 ultimates for Converse, but none of them have come out, and this is probably not the time to do so when you're at this level disadvantage. Crescent going to be able to find the headshot through the nebula. Great focus there. Probably going to be able to hold this down. Finds that shot immediately, and it finds the second one. Ollie said, I see you on my team. I see you, Flare, but this is my time to shine. Misses that one, but the Cyber Trap is not going to save the Cyber for too long. That was a guy that hates the flick, is able to find the shot through the flash regardless. Now it is just boom. The Neural Theft, not going to be enough. Might have been able to find a shot there after a very aggressive dash. But Winthrop now find themselves at match point.
Yeah, the dash right in front of them, and making it impossible for the Cypher to get away with a single kill towards the end. Winthrop, again, this is what he said. They were able to win that round, and that guaranteed the next couple rounds as well with that very, very good economy. And on top of that, you have Alifa has been doing so good with everything they have with the operator holding those angles. And the difference here is that they're rushing sides. They're able to immediately rush into one of the sides. Often has been A. They guarantee that the enemy team is going to play for the retake every single time.
Trailblazer, thanks for information. So is the Owl Drone. Ollie trying to go very aggressive. He's able to find a kill. If Converse is able to win, be overtime, but they are at a disadvantage though. Rookie able to take out Crescent, who had the Empress. For that, it looks like Winthrop, they are going to back up for just a little bit as they try to regroup West completely on their own currently.
Really hasn't given up on A just yet, or is hoping for someone to peek that side. Ideally, the Cypher that is so close, so they're able to get the kill. They're going to go back to A. The Jet on the other side is still at B, so that is going to be even more of a number that they need on this side to go in.
Cosmic Divide being used. We'll see if it's more for cutting off. It is actually for cutting off. Sometimes you see teams try to just use it to get a better plant, but here they're just going to cut off tree completely. Heaven still has a pretty good angle, so Boom might be able to find that header to how they play this. Ollie able to get it with the shorty. And now Converse, it is all down to Ricky. A 1v3, it is not impossible, but it might be improbable. One more kill, and they get the Blaze Storm. It is online. There's a very weak memory. Ollie, who's very weak right now, but they just turn into the corner. The Shock Dart is there, and Swish able to find the 3-pointer. That's going to be Winthrop taking a very close first map here on Ascent.
Yeah, very intense what we just saw between the two teams. It was going from one side to another to back and forth. It was a complete mess. Converse, it seems like they were finally able to get ahead to show that they would still stay on top, but they lost the momentum towards the end. I feel like it was a mistake in deciding when to buy, when to save. That didn't really benefit them towards the end. They really needed that economy for the last 2-3 rounds. And they lost it before, so they didn't have a lot of possibilities. But nonetheless, it was really, really close.
It was really close. It looks like Converse might need some accounting majors from their university to figure out how to spend those credits a little bit better, how to find some better investments. But the defending champs, we've seen them drop maps before and still win out. So when we come back, we've got map number 2 coming up. It's going to be Bind. Don't go anywhere, folks. You don't want to miss the rest of this.
I noticed I drink a lot of sodas when I'm gaming. Might as well drink something that's good for me. Head over to drinkolipop.com and order your favorite flavor.
And welcome back, friends. Thank you for sticking with us through that break. We have a great game. At least one more map guaranteed. It's Winthrop versus the defending champions, Converse. And, well, Dryad, you and I, we talked about the fact that Converse has a substitution in this game. And based on how that first map went, you can see it just a little bit.
Yeah, you can definitely see that they're struggling and being the ones who everyone is fearing off before to the ones who lost that first map. That is not going to be ideal for this team, but nonetheless, it was really close. They still have the possibility to win the next It would be 2 maps in a row, but we have to see if they still have something that they haven't shown us before, especially when it comes to those compositions.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we look again at that map selection screen, we can see exactly where we're gonna go to next. I remember, but I just love the visual anyway. It's gonna be Bind, and I know you had said that you prefer it be Split. I would
Yeah.
love Split as well, but honestly, I am a fan of Bind, I must say. But this is going to be the second map. This has got to be where Converse comes back. And this was the map pick of Winthrop. So they were able to win on the pick of Converse already. So they must be feeling pretty good about that. They did come, they had that good lead. Then they kind of dropped the ball. And then they came back. So a lot of things going the way of Winthrop right now. But if you're Converse, what are you thinking is the way they get back into this?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely, there's a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to bind, because we can bring a little bit more of the same compositions that we already saw. Obviously, there's a possibility for a little bit more, but the jet with the operator is pretty much a given on bind as well. There's a lot of angles. There's long, there's heaven as well to hold the operator from and to keep being successful with this jet. So I expect pretty much a little bit of the same. I think what really needs to change is gotta be the playstyle coming through. And it's gotta be Converse playing more aggressive, because when we saw Winthrop being the most successful was when they were rushing those sites, forcing the enemy into a retake that was not very effective most of the time. So it's going to be a little bit of the same coming from the side of Converse if they want to stay ahead and to win this map.
And we already see a bunch of locks coming in. Futile going to be moving over to the Rays, not super surprising. Reyna great on Ascent here, Rays reigns supreme as that second duelist choice. The biggest surprise for
Select
me
your
so
agent.
far is the fact that Ollie is going to the Phoenix. I have not seen a Phoenix in months, and I think you just mentioned a lot of great points about how good the Jet is here. And we saw
Yeah.
that Ollie did really good on the Jet. Went toe-to-toe with Rookie. That was a pretty even trade, but I think got a little bit of the better of it considering that they won that match. They looked really good on the Opera. Now, if you have an Operator player, it's probably going to have to be Crescent, because that's the second best hero, I would say, or agent here, because they do have the blast packs. They are able to kind of get in and out of situations, but it's not nearly as effective as a Jet with an Operator.
Absolutely, and I love the Jet coming for this out of Converse. Definitely, this team seems to me like the one that playing the better composition. But Winthrop, like you mentioned, I haven't seen a Phoenix in so long, and that scares me a little bit because Phoenix is not in the best state in the game right now. And to take into account, well, at least Phoenix, it can be really good here with those teleporters more than any other agent. But nonetheless, those abilities seem to be very simple when you think about Phoenix, which was one of the initial agents in the game, to Astra, who has a lot of better utility. So you start comparing those agents, especially those duelists that can come through, and not having the Jet. I don't know how this is going to work out. It's going to be Winthrop getting a very definitive
Plant the
lead
spike.
on this first half.
They're going to come through as they try to push their way on. Shotjar is going to get some damage onto Crescent, but the first kill is going to go the way of them. Ollie able to find that kill, and I gotta say quickly, one thing about the Phoenix that I do like here is you do have a lot of studs, you have a lot of flash into the curveball and the guiding light that can let you get onto a point like this, which they do have under their control, as well as they have 2 kills.
Last
Let's
player
try to find
standing.
something on the side, but he's not able to get anything in. I'm not going to make the same pun as I did last time, but Futile will fall. It's a flawless round for Winthrop, who have not dropped any momentum since winning the last map.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what they have to do. They can't let off their guard a single second against Converse, who they continually talk about how good they are, and they have already proved this. But on this match, they're definitely struggling a little bit more. Winthrop, they are third on the table right now. They can go up a couple places in the next couple weeks, and that's what they're trying to do here more than anything else. Again, their winning condition here is going to get the lead on the attacking side.
Looking at the table, Converse team is the only team left in this handle problem, so
Yeah.
win here would be huge, but Flair gonna be able to find one, Crescent able to find one.
One
And all of a
enemy
sudden it's a
remaining.
3v2 for the attackers. A little bit of better weaponry covering 40 health and not much else. A
Spike
Sheriff is
down,
able to
B.
find a headshot onto West with 1 health, only 1. Ollie there with the judge. It's gonna be the jury and the executioner there. And I think the only thing I can say beyond Winthrop dropping quite a few people there is that they might have been able to plant the spike for extra economy, but Ollie there instead just gonna kind of slice and dice with their knife.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can pretty much expect. I wonder if it's going to be pretty much the same as we saw on the last map where Winthrop, they looked so good at the beginning. They continue to win even in those bonus rounds. And then they lose their momentum for a little bit. So I wonder if it's going to be the same scenario. This is something that they should be expecting though. And they have a lot more information tools to initiate. But they're continuing with the same strategy. And that is when I start to worry.
See if those concerns are addressed here. It's Converse. I feel like both teams are playing for the side they have, and I agree Converse, I think that has the better comp overall, at least here on this defensive side. We saw that the Cypher can work on attack here and there, but in general, still does struggle compared to some other agents. Orb gonna be picked up. Ollie gonna be run it back online. I have not called the run it back in so long. I was like, what is that ultimate called again? trying to remember all the abilities, but luckily my memory is not failing me here. Could see a curveball, a hot hands, or a flame wall to try to create some separation. Owl drone gonna be thrown in, but all for naught, immediately taken out. Ollie gonna be fast stepping it, gonna be healed up by their own flame wall, just going in and out.
Sorry, bro.
Now gonna find a headshot with the running back. Finds two. Ollie has no fear, but Blitz is able to find two. On the other end, Hottie gonna be thrown in as the running back extends, and now it is only Ollie left for this side. 7 health. Hot Hand already committed, so no way to heal themselves. Also tagged up by the recon pulse. They're gonna have to head for the hills, try to run for their lives, but they are currently being surrounded by all the remaining members of Converse.
10
And there's
seconds
just
left.
no time. There's not a lot of possibilities. You want to keep your gun, you want to stay alive, keep this gun, allow the economy to be a little bit better, but that is just not going to happen because Converse is going to get their first round here and be able to recover after this 2 rounds. So they are looking good. They still have a lot of potential. They still have the opportunity to win this map that is just starting out. But it's a matter as well of who's able to get the momentum first. Because it's been going back and forth as expected at the first 3 rounds. But the moment that one of the teams gets the momentum, it's going to be really hard to let it go.
Talk about the operator and the jet being peanut butter and jelly. Well, I'd like to think that a raise of a jet is basically like, just, I don't know, Intella or something. It's a pretty good combination because of their mobility. They're gonna run in and it's gonna be right over the top. That's what you love to see. Maybe not if you're Converse in this scenario. Their buy, I was gonna say, was a bit awkward. They did get 3 ARs from that round win, but they had to go for 2 sidearms as well. Because of that, they are down 2 early on. Teleporter going to be used for Ricky, who's on the mini-map right now. We'll have to see if that flank works at Blitz. Going to be tagged up by that shock dart. Angle's being held pretty well for Winthrop. Just a little bit of noise made. Trailblazer going to come through, but not going to be able to land the stun. Blitz about to run into a world of hurt. That is the judge right around the corner. Kristen able to get it done. Flare able to find the next shot and is futile again. The last person standing, and what is a...
They were just not expecting the judge to come in. That is very unfortunate, Winthrop. He managed to stay ahead and to keep the lead, to keep the economy into the next couple rounds that are really going to guarantee, again, who's going to stay on top. And so far, it seems like it's going to be this team. Converse, they've been having a lot of difficulty pushing in. And we talked about the Phoenix and the possibilities of seeing this agent more than anything, but Ali, more than anything, has proved us how good the Phoenix can be.
I think they just know something we don't, Dryad. This might be the Phoenix revolution. We'll see in future games if this is a one-time wonder or if it continues to happen. Crescent, Trailblazer are gonna give a information. They know Boom is there in the corner, guiding light gonna come through. Do they dare peek it? They play very cautiously as Boom does find a kill there. Still holding this angle as everyone else is going around. Flare though, able to win that fight. Falls very low. Gun is given up. Neural Theft is available. Gonna be committed here in a 1v2 scenario. You gotta question if that is the move when you only have 53 health left. Nebula gonna take away a little bit of a sightline, but it's gonna take away sightlines on both sides actually, as now Wes and Ali try to play together. Wes Maybe try to put down another Nebula. Camera isn't gonna find out anyone. It almost able, actually does get the tag up, so just as I say that, completely proven wrong there, does get
One
the
enemy
tag.
remaining.
Boom, able to get another one. It's Boom against the world, the curveball though. That's what you want to see from the Phoenix, and again, the knives have come out to play. The sword is sharp, and this Phoenix continues to roll.
And that was a good timing for Ellie to be able to use that ability to be able to flash out of any other time, because he knew that it's going to be the type of pushing it, potentially getting that kill. If it was done a little bit early, a little bit later, would have also been detrimental for the Astra that was remaining and got taken down. So really good timing as well for this team, really good timing for this Phoenix, who continue to prove that they are able to stay on top while Converse continue to struggle.
And I mean, this is kind of similar to what we saw in Ascent, where Winthrop again had an early lead, so I'm not going to call Converse out of this just yet, but the economy is looking very, very decent for them. Bomb Buddy not going to find anything. Is going to be tagged up by the Cypher Cam. The Spy Cam going to get a little information, but immediately it's going to be taken down. Flare, very interestingly alone there, as Crescent going to just kind of casually peek into that. Does get some damage onto Boom, but can't get the kill, and Ollie now going to reset themselves, so run it back. If they come back alive, they will have 100 health, so this is the play to make. Run through isn't a fine one. But now Futile has been found out, so they know exactly where that second to last defender is coming from. Flare, maybe just playing Ring Around the Rosie here with Ricky. Decides that they don't want to play that game anymore. Might be trying to play something from Squid Game instead. We'll see. As that Guiding Light comes out, still not taking this fight directly. Another Guiding Light. They know there's someone there, but they're the one that's gonna fall. They pick the wrong number there. Swish, though, able to take out Futile in the meantime. In the numbers game, might have not worked out for Flare, but it works out for Winthrop, and they are one round away from getting a guaranteed draw at worst for halftime.
It is just working out so well for Winthrop. Again, they really figure out what to do, and it is a matter of rushing side, taking control of side as soon as possible, and then forcing the enemy to play for their retake before they're able to get any kills. And it is working out so well that I'm almost concerned for the set of Converse and why they haven't been able to catch up to this strategy and to shut it down. It's gonna be a really strong defense on both of the sides to be able to stop this. So hard to just keep getting taken down again and again.
This is unfair. They actually missed the showstopper, but it doesn't matter. 2 kills going the way of Winthrop early. And one thing I want to point out, and I don't mean to single out this player at Futile, this substitution trying to do their best, currently sitting at 0-6-1, and really this is a map that Raze needs to control, especially on this A site. You can do so many things with your pain shells, but you're not able to do any of it. Flash like up there with the curveball. Ollie just playing with their food a little bit, and this could be the 3rd flawless round for Winthrop. Boom. Has a Marshall playing very far away from the site, and maybe the Guiding Light doesn't find anything. We're going to try to peek this now. They know exactly where it is. Is able to take one out on the way. Maybe a second. No, can't get it done. Denies the flawless. Winthrop gets the round win anyway.
I can't use the Marshall for that. It's a nightmare. You miss a shot and you have to wait like a million years to be able to shoot again. And at that point, the enemy team is already going to kill you. So not really going to work out for Converse yet again. And I'm still wondering if this is the same strategy or the same sort of storyline that we saw on the last map where Winthrop was doing so good, but then Converse was able to catch up a little bit more. It is still a possibility again. Winthrop, they have pretty much been doing the same. They have been rushing sides, using abilities early on, and then getting kills just with that.
Speaking of early on, that P coming out from Ricky doesn't even have to commit the dash. Crescent just take quite a bit of damage. Gonna be healed now by the Sky, so loses the armor, but back to full strength beyond that, so not terrible. I know there is an operation. Might change how they play this. That's a bunch of Seekers destroyed immediately. Ollie able to open up the first with the hot hands and to be able to take out Lucas. But no, it's actually going to be stolen by Crescent. Operator is down, and this is going to be the go button once more. Boom does have the camera, so no, there's 2 in Hookah. But dude, really nothing besides watch as this site is taken over. Trailblazer gonna jump right over someone, but they know there is at least an Astra coming out from there. Cosmic Divide up for both sides, and Neural Theft as well available for Boom. So there are moves to be made, but they need to find a body for this Cypher ult to come out. Who knows that it is cleared, so that is some recon, at least for this defending side. Trying to make a
Last player
comeback here.
standing.
They lose 2 though from Flare. Flare able to find the spray transfer now. Boom is alone. West is in the corner. And that storyline you talked about, Dryad, well, maybe they can bring it back to 5-7, but they're not going to have that halftime tie.
Even the 5-7 is looking difficult when you look at the economy for Converse. They have ultimates, but they don't have any ultimate that can guarantee a kill. Even with a showstopper, we look at this player, they haven't been doing so well. Only 1 kill so far, 1 and 8. And then you look at the other ultimate that could potentially get kills. You look at the Hunter's Fury. But this is something that you have to either use at the beginning, or you use it for the plant, or to deny the plant, or for the close plant. There's so many possibilities to get the kills with them alone.
So many possibilities, but so little time. Only 4 more rounds left before we get to that side swap. Like you said, the economy for Converse not looking too hot. This is a save round for them. They do have 4 ultimates at their disposal, but is this the time to use them? Or do they save them to try to bring back a more winnable round? Run it back and made it on the other side. 2 kills coming in early. Make that 3. Flare is tearing things up. Can't get the ace, but could get a 4K as the running back ends, and that's an unfortunate respawn for Ali. Vandal is picked up by Ricky, but there's just so little health left in their pool, and the spike is going to come down just for a little bit of extra economy there for Winthrop.
And the economy that keeps going and getting better and better for the set of Winthrop. I mean, they have everything that they need. They can buy every ability, every gun that they want. They can buy extra guns if they really want to. They're definitely not going for that. But they're just looking confident. And again, this is something that I talked about at the beginning. This was going to be their winning condition, was getting ahead on the attacking side. And that is exactly what they're doing. They're guaranteeing not only the lead on the second half, but a massive lead that Converse they might not be able to recover from.
Great recon goal, finds out 2 on B. Long finds out Lucas. Lucas was doing so well on the last map on Ascents here, not being able to have the same amount of impact. There is a trade from Blitz, but immediately they fall, and now Ollie looking for an ace. Has 3 already, could find 2, depending on how they decide to play this. So I'm going to be playing it again, and it just seems like time and time again, it's the hottest club here on Binds, and yet Converse, they're not stacking it, and in fact here, they're not even trying to try to stop this, they just want to keep their weaponry.
This is risky, and I don't know if this is the best decision. It's gonna be all about the confidence. If you think you can take down pretty much each taking 2, then I would obviously encourage them for them to go in, but they don't have the confidence. They already lost it. They've lost so many rounds in a row. That is so difficult, to the point where Winthrop, they're just going to push them.
With that aggression though, it's going to be punished. It becomes a 2v2, but too much time has passed. There's really no way for them to contest this spike. The round isn't to go their way, but can they get more out of Winthrop? Winthrop is still challenging this. They are going to get 1 more 4 kills, but still that round is not going to go their way.
This is exactly what they wanted, at least. They wanted to get away with their guns and be able to get a couple kills at the end to better the economy of the team a little bit more. That is exactly what they're going to do, to the point where they can even buy an operator. This is something that Ricky has been saving for, because they know they can completely change the shape that the game has been taking so far, especially on this map. The operator, again, able to take control of a lot of space, especially in long, where Ricky is going to be.
And they reshape this game and they hold it like clay. That's going to be a great flashbang to a 2. Was able to clean things up. Now Blitz being pressured out. Now it's gotta be Futile coming in. Does have all the abilities they need in the world.
Spike planted.
A little bit of trading as that Trailblazer is gonna stun them up actually, so they're at a big disadvantage, and unfortunately Futile cannot get the job done. Double digits gonna be confirmed for the attacking side.
Last round in
you said it best, Ryan. They had to get a big lead early on, because once they swap sides, their comp, it's not terrible, but it's not as good as it is here, and they've gotten basically everything they've bargained for and a bag of chips.
Especially because, I mean, not only this composition for the set of Winthrop is really good at attacking, but the composition for Converse is just not good at attacking, and that is the thing. They have the Jet, wanted to play the operator. Didn't really work out. And even if they wanted to on the second half, it is going to be a lot more difficult.
Joke's over.
Last time you
You're
use
dead.
everything you have in your chamber, so all the ultimates, literally all of the ultimates being thrown out. Seekers, run it back, Hunter's Fury, Cosmic Divide, another Hunter's Fury coming through, and this time from Lucas, who's trying to get him something here. Fires 2 does tag up 1 in the meantime, as this spike comes down. Utah gonna try to take the high ground with the Sheriff, might be able to find a shot once this Nebula dissipates. In the meantime, this is an interesting idea from the defenders. They are trying to attack from all angles, but Ricky gonna be caught up by the Trailblazer. Flare has just been absolutely iconic thus far. Crescent gonna walk right by Lucas, who is the last person alive. That's a how do you do, and that's gonna be 11 rounds for Winthrop, who have completely dominated this side of Bind.
They are looking so good. I mean, there's pretty much no stop to this team. Even on the defense, it's gonna be a long way to go if Converse wants to stand a chance, and it pretty much looks impossible. Only a pistol round that Winthrop is able to win is going to guarantee 2 rounds essentially in a row for them to win. They have been looking so good. That first map was going back and forward. Sure, it was looking really close, but this map here on Bind, and even with the Phoenix that we were so hesitant to see, they have proven to be the better team.
Dryad, if there's anything I've learned from this match, it's to never doubt a Phoenix again. I just can't going forward. This has been absolutely phenomenal at 20 kills, leading the lobby, leading the team. Can they find the victory? A great curveball off the bat. Bombuddy gonna be taken out, so not gonna be able to find anything there. Ricky gonna fall very, very low. Again, nothing to heal here. They have committed to the Cypher both times. Converse has. There's no way to regain lost health. That is an amazing shock dart. Gonna find a lot of damage. Crescent with the Frenzy, my least favorite sidearm, still finding the kills that they need. Converse, they are finding themselves on the back foot. I don't know what else can be done here. Down 2, taking a lot of damage. Still West finding the headshot. Boom is gonna be in lights, but can they find a way to maneuver around? The spike is down. West finding another headshot. Boom, trying to find that spike, can't find anything, and that is another flawless round that we've had here, Dryad.
Another flawless. Winthrop Winthrop more than anyone else, and absolutely deserved last round potentially, and most likely, I want to say a good 99% that Winthrop is going to win this one as well. They have been doing so well every single time on this map. It's been all about being the ones initiating those fights, using those ultimates first, and really making a difference. Once again, coming down to Ali, we saw him being the top fragger for the team on the last map, and they also do it here.
Just do or die now for these attackers. They do trade an aggressive play by Crescent this time. Does not work out, but Ali able to survive despite how weak they are. I think they were trying to go for the hot hands there. That time, an aggressive swing into Boom as a Sheriff. Flare, though, trading out, and this round looking a lot closer than we first expected. 2v2 as the dust settles. And now the attackers are going to be planting on A.
Me too, though, and an opportunity here for Converse, but it's not looking so good. I mean, both of the teams having the initiators might be an opportunity here, as they say, though. 5 HP for this guy.
West though on the flank from Heaven. They're finding the angles, they find the final kill, and Flare playing the...
We defend this place, Defenders win.
That is going to be a very one-sided affair. Winthrop able to take down the defending champions 13-1 on this last map. The previous map was 13-11, so I mean there are ones at the end of the score for Con. Just any win that was in their sales was completely taken out.
I really love seeing those differences in maps, though, because you would expect that a map that was so close would almost go the same way on the next map, but everyone plays different things on different maps, different strategies. Even though I want to say Winthrop was pretty much playing the same thing over and over again, but it was just working out, and Converse was not able to catch up to the strategy. It was rushing in, forcing the retake, getting that initial kill, and it worked out every single time that they wanted to. It was a very, very strong map for Winthrop, and they're able to take this victory against the number 1 seed right now.
Yeah, with that, we're gonna have to see how that bracket ends up shaking out. I mean, now it seems like that first seed is up for grabs. Remember, the top four of this group out of six will make it. So even if you are the fourth bottom seed, you're not out of this just yet. I think Converse was first in their group last time around, but they did have a loss on the season. So this is a situation they've been in before. Losing one game hasn't been the end all be all. They still are able to beat a previously undefeated team in UC Davis during the summer split. And they are playing with substitutions. So we talked about how Winthrop might be able to take advantage of that. Didn't look like it in that first map. Ascent super back and forth here, that you could see it really coming out on display. That the fact that Winthrop had their starting roster made a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the narrative that both those two teams are still at the top of the table nonetheless. Converse, sure, they take their first loss, but they had a sub, and that is something that, again, we have to take into account. They can become stronger as they have their full roster, as they're able to build that synergy yet again, and if they're able to scrim and learn a little bit more about the teams that they are going to face in the future.
Absolutely. And with that, only one last thing to say. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. One little thing I want to say from the bottom of my heart is that we know this has been a bit of a tough time in the esports community right now. A lot of unfortunate things happening. So be sure, to tell those around you that you care about them, that you're looking out for them. And as a community, we got to lift each other up and get through some of these hard times. But with that, it is Winthrop taking the 2-0 victory over the defending champions Converse Esports. We'll see how this ends up shaking out. We still got 2 more weeks of regular season play before we get to the playoffs. I've been Jack. This has been Dryad joining me. Thanks so much to our producer Hyper as well as our observer Betty. And with that, we're going to say goodnight. See you on the next one.
I noticed I drink a lot of sodas when I'm gaming. Might as well drink something that's good for me. Head over to drinkolipop.com and order your favorite flavor.